Yes, that's the sound, right? That's the sound. We're here. All right, we're live. Hello to everybody, whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, just good in generalities, wherever you are. I am Adam. I am freshly mustached, and I am here as your moderator for Mind Sports to welcome you guys. Wherever you're watching, I hope you had your Wheaties or your caffeine, your nootropics, whatever you got to get the mind into a place where you are ready to discuss big ideas. That's what we're here to do here at Mind Sports. And tonight we got a big one. It's what's happening in India. Now, traditionally, we have a format where we have a sort of debate forum, 2 teams, 3 people on each sort of, not a side of an issue, but to discuss the dualities of a side of an issue and hopefully meet in the middle. But tonight we were switching up our format a little bit because of the issue happening in India, and because this particular issue is so near and dear to the human being who hosts this show, my friend, Indy Rishi Singh. So we wanted to switch it up today and bring some awareness to this situation that's happening over there, because it hasn't been as covered in our Western news cycle. And so tonight we're switching it up a little bit to have a discussion about this particular topic in hopes that we can bring some awareness to it. So I will still be functioning as the moderator in the chat. That's what I will be doing tonight. So if you jump in, whether it's now or if you jump in later in the show, if you have any questions, you will posit those questions to me, and I will be able to forward those over to Indy, and we'll get you stoked up into the narrative here and be able to discuss. So without any further ado, I do want to pass it over to Indy, but just giving the couple little caveats here is that within this program, it is still relatively new to us. So if for any reason we have any technical difficulties, just bear with us as we are still kind of experiencing some newness and some nuances around this. Also, if you're jumping in at any time, do note that in the chat, it's your name and then Instagram handle. So you'll see mine, it's Adam Dorsey, and then I have at Adam Dorsey1. So if you jump in at any time, just throw in your IG handle. We are on Facebook Live, so this will be recorded and then subsequently thrown on YouTube. So if you have any questions, please funnel them through me. And without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to my dear friend, the living legend himself, Mr. Indy Rishi Singh. Boo, pew, 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 pew. That's where fireworks in my mind are going off. Pew, pew. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up, man? Thanks for fireworking me up, man. I don't have enough firework going on in my own being right now. My whole nervous system. I could use some positive fireworks for sure. I would like to. Can I bang this really quick? I want to honor my friend Emily from Hyperslow. If you guys know out there, Emily gifted me with these beautiful bowls, and so let's take a moment. So just take a moment. Just catch your breath really quick. And let me ask really quick that we just quickly recognize all of the guardians and all of our ancestors, like all the guardians that showed up to protect religious freedom, to protect sovereign farmland, to protect political rights, to protect all the guardians. They've showed up in all of our cultures, all of our mythologies. Even now they show up in even our games, our video games. Let's just thank all of the guardians and for what they do, how they show up, and maybe the guardians inside of us that will protect those who are weak or innocent or cannot protect themselves, those who step up for food rights, those who step up for indigenous rights, those who step up for technology rights, computer rights, robot rights. Let's honor all the guardians for a moment. Just please, even for yourself, think about your ancestors, how for you to survive, somebody fought, some invading force, some sort of force that would want to obliterate your ancestors' culture, your ancestors' lives. Somebody stepped up. Maybe it was your ancestors that stepped up. Just acknowledge that for a moment. Let's all acknowledge that energy, that Jedi energy that shows up, that has integrity, that no material gain, no self-interest is a part of their intention to protect and serve. Whew. So Adam, I could talk a lot about this, but I just want to say, a part of like I'm really disappointed, first of all, that we don't have like the show out, right? And like a part of this is that like we're talking about people like genocide, right? Like the language that's being used from India in India, and I'll share more, some really actually like pretty profound, prominent people, what they're sharing on social media at this moment, and how the language that's being used is the same language that was used in Nazi Germany before they exterminated millions of Jews and other people. They didn't just exterminate Jews, right? And what's happening in India is literally like parallel. And being from India, my family already experiencing genocides, 1984, 1947, our people literally have been slaughtered within past 100 years. It's happening again. And like, I could feel the trauma. I was born when that happened. I was 2 years old when that happened. And I remember, I don't know, but I can imagine I was traumatized because my family lost people. Our culture our culture was attacked, right? Literally our culture, our way of life was attacked. So right now, nobody being here, Kundalini people, yoga people, mindfulness people, not actually talking about and not actually having conversations, it is incredibly disturbing to me because I've been a part of all these communities. It's all about positivity, support, nurture, but there's right now people are going to get killed. They're already getting killed and silenced. So what are we doing now? What are you doing to give back to India? Like it's crazy right now that I have to ask, that we have to even invite people. Like, why aren't they having conversation themselves on their social medias? It's mind-boggling right now. I don't understand.
Well, I think part of the problem is it's out of sight, out of mind. You know, when you have an issue that is directly in your face, when it's directly in your face, that's when people will make change. And history shows it, that if it's in another country, it's across the world, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. The problem with that sort of thinking is that then it will eventually land on your face. And whether it's now or whether it's 5 years or whether it's 5 days, that's the problem, is that people don't want to look at it until it's imminent, right? And how can we go forward as people where we can make positive, impactful changes before shit gets chaotic, right? And also just in the general public of the United States, this has not been a story that has been covered. I mean, before you started talking about this, man, I didn't hear about it. You know, and I posed this question to David and Jamie and Taylor, and had any of you guys even heard about this until Indy started talking about it?
No.
No, not really. It was just really background. I didn't see any U.S. news on this at all until like yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what I shared this in my article, right? There's this famous poem that was written by experienced how people kind of avoided it. They're like, oh, it's not affecting me. We're smart. Can you hear me now? Maybe. Yeah. So he talks about it, this guy Martin Niemöller, and I don't know, I hope I'm totally butchering it, but he shared, what happened in Germany, right, at that time. And I think we need to think about this. The language that India is using is similar to this language, right? They're attacking the minorities and they're vilifying the minorities as a way to kind of to pass laws and to get things passed that are going to hurt people more. They're going to create more poverty. And I mean, that's my opinion. But to be honest with you, when you don't include people, when you just include people in conversation, that's when things don't work. I don't know, Adam. And I mean, so anyways, I don't want to deviate from what you were saying right now, Adam. I think, it's for me too, it's been troubling because I've been trying to understand how this connects to us. I don't want to be hypocritical, right? I feel like, okay, that's India, right? That's in India. India's dealing with their problems, but are we also dealing with similar problems here? What's going on with our farmers here? I couldn't help, right? I couldn't disconnect. There's a part of me that didn't allow me to do this. What is that called? Cognitive dissonance. I just was whoa, I'm cognitive. I can't be caring about India, but what's going on here? And when I studied it, Adam, it's really when we talk about rural America has been being degraded for the past 30 years. I wonder, what are your thoughts on that? Because
Well, I think that's you make the comparisons to Nazi Germany. Where we are is in the 1920s in Germany, not the 1930s, or early 40s. What you have in a situation in the United States is, look, you have rural communities that have been decimated, and it is through agriculture. When you go back 70 to 80 years ago, the majority of jobs in the United States were agricultural jobs. That's the same situation you see the trend changing in India, where you had the majority of jobs were agricultural jobs. That's all been shifting, okay? Now, these towns then get left behind for myriad reasons. One, because jobs go to cheaper labor, right? And now you're starting to see jobs being taken away through automation, okay? And what happens with that, right, is then you get people that feel like they've been left behind. Now, I think that personally gave rise to Trump. And I'll keep it brief and I won't go too deep into the Trump land. But what I personally believe with this is that the Democrats have kind of represented sort of like this liberal elite, right? And they're trying to talk morals to rural America, right? And they're so disconnected. It's like Hillary Clinton was trying to talk morals to the to the rural folks in our country, while the middle class has been shrinking since the late 1960s. We haven't had a real wage increase adjusted for inflation since the 1960s. And so the middle class has been struggling. Meanwhile, rural communities are being decimated. Jobs are leaving. Agriculture is dying. It's giving rise to these huge agricultural companies that, by the way, are subsidized by the US government, right? And so when these people start to feel left behind, somebody who comes in akin to Trump, who now is starting to kind of speak against this liberal elite, right? The same very folks that these rural communities feel have sort of betrayed them, right? The people a lot that I have found that have supported Trump don't so much support him for what he is, but they support him for what he hates. And what he hates is these sort of like liberal leadership people that have, whether they are actually responsible for it or not, they represent the downfall of rural America, right? And so you give rise to a very egomaniac or a megalomaniac type of leader because you have neglected these people, and you don't go and try. No one's trying to help these folks, and so they feel left behind, and honestly, rightfully so, that they feel left behind. I mean, let's break it down like this. Like you have a situation in the United States where you can go to McDonald's, right? And you can get a burger for $1, for $1. All right. Now think about how much energy has to go into that one burger being created, right? We're talking about the raising of the cattle. Then we're talking about the slaughtering. Then we're talking about the processing. And then we're talking, all of this costs money. Okay. And yet this burger is $1, right? Well, that's because all of this is subsidized by the US government. And so these big agricultural companies have a relationship with the US government. This gets subsidized. And so you wonder why people aren't eating healthy. Well, why does an avocado cost $2.50 or $3 and a hamburger is $1?
Right.
This is where the inherent problem lies, right? Right, is that you have something that has now left these people behind. And so what I since I've started talking to you about this subject, I've started to educate myself in this situation in India, and you're seeing the same issue happening. And that what the farmers are scared of is these big conglomerates coming in and underpricing them. Right. They have a minimum price that's guaranteed. They go to these free markets, right? That the minimum price is guaranteed so that they can sustain themselves. And they're worried that they're not going to be able to sustain themselves. And rightfully so, because that's what's happened in the United States.
Right.
Companies like Monsanto have come in and killed the small farmer. And if you just go to your local farmer's market, talk to your local farmer, they're going to tell you the same thing.
And with that being said, like there's like people like Vandana Shiva, who people should kind of like go down that rabbit hole. I'm sharing her behind me, and like people like her have been kind of like the elders who like also have education in law and education in like science, and like can speak both languages, the language of the land and of the people, and the language of like modern whatever modern society is. But she's actually been preventing Monsanto from getting into India for years, like creating bills to make sure they don't get out. Mind you, Adam, doesn't Europe not allow GMOs? Like, I'm just curious about that. Like, isn't that true? Like, so wait, what?
Yeah, of course they don't. I mean, like, the United States is for in my opinion, for what it's worth, is just more corporate friendly than most countries, you know, and it's in large part because lobbying is allowed in the United States, where a lot of countries, they don't allow lobbying, you know,
Right.
They don't allow people that come in from the agricultural companies to then work in the
Right.
EPA and make legislation, you know.
Right.
So what you have is people going from private sector to public sector, from public sector to
Right.
private sector, and going in between. They're the ones that are actually writing the laws. So why would you have agricultural companies that are these huge conglomerates then writing the legislation for the laws? Well, you have to start thinking, well, maybe their hands are in the cookie jar.
So Adam, you know, like for me, right? Like I think people don't care about India as much is because it's India, right? Like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't think, generally speaking, they don't care because they're not Indian and they don't connect with any. Even yogis, why aren't they caring? Like, I don't think they really, like, they might show like they care and they wear the beads and the malas and all that stuff. But I don't think they fucking care, to be honest with you. Like, they don't really care, right? I mean, I've been seeing for years, nobody's ever gone and built schools and like brought education to India or like gave back to the orphans. They talk about, oh my God, there's orphans, I want to like help kids. India has the most child trafficking in the world. But there's nobody there going there and making, and yogis and meditation people going there and help. That being said, you know, I think they're not going to care about India. Like, to be honest with you, I want to bring this up, what you're talking about. If you want to care about, forget India, you want to care about what's going on in your backyard, these are like actual facts, okay? Mind-blowing facts, right? Or neuroplasticity, but creating facts, okay? Adam, I just want to run this down with you and get some feedback. Maybe some of the other cats on this call can also like jump in here, right? Just take a look at some of these statistics. The U.S. farming industry contributes more than $100 billion to the economy. Let's take a look at this. Agriculture is $1.05 trillion to the U.S. is more than the GDP of Indonesia and Mexico, by the way, right? So agriculture is money. Who owns the most farmland in America now, Adam?
Bill Gates.
Okay, well, let's keep going. Hold that thought, okay? So let's keep going with this, all right? So let's see. Farming alone contributed $132 billion to the U.S. economy. That's without actually people being consciously involved, all right? Think about that for a second, okay? What else we could do with that? While there are more than 2 million farms across U.S., farmers and ranchers make up only 1% of the labor force, okay? Let's keep going. There's no jobs, right? People don't have jobs, right? Oh, God forbid, nobody has jobs. Let's get them working at Google or Amazon, right? But hold up 1 second. So let's look at these statistics right here. So check this out, Adam. In 1840, workers in the agriculture industry made up 70% of the American force, okay?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, 1935, 7 million, okay? People, right? Peaked. Now it's 2.6, 1.3% of our population. It's gone down over the years, people working on farms. Do we need food more or less? How many more people do we have now than 1935?
Right, yeah. I mean, we're talking about an exponential increase in population and in pretty much an exponential decrease in agricultural jobs.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, I mean, that's logically insane. Like, anybody who's okay with that, that's insanity. Because that's your food. Like, that's our food. Literally. How are you gonna live, dude? You know?
Yeah. Well, I saw a meme the other day that I did like. It said, "Resistance is fertile." And it really is. It's you know, it's growing your own food. It's having access to creating your own ability and sustainability to live off the land.
So two things I want to bring up. So, you know, I've been teaching and working with kids. I teach a couple of high school classes, and I mostly work with Black and brown kids. Mostly they're Black, right? And what I'm noticing is the problems they're facing, New Orleans, Florida, Texas. And then I'm looking at this, right? The local food market, like local organic farmers, is growing, right? Who do you think is benefiting from that? Do you think Black, marginalized communities, like Hispanic communities, are they actually benefiting off this organic? I'm thinking about that. All right, I'm gonna keep going down here. All right. So soybeans account for 60% of the U.S. worth of exports to China. Okay, wait on that one, Adam. Soybeans are 60%. Let's keep going over here. All right. What are they used for? Not for tofu. The plant is heavily used for cooking oils and feed for livestock, especially as incomes in China rise and the demand for meat and dairy picks up. So, okay, look, Okay, look, hold up. 60%. Okay, so a significant amount of American land is feeding Chinese people.
Yeah, and feeding Chinese cattle. And
I mean, come on, guys. I don't care what you believe in, what your belief systems are. I mean, are you okay with that? I'm confused by that. Are you vegan? Are you nutritionist? Are you Ayurvedic? Okay, extreme weather. But you guys already know this, right? Mind you, by the way, regenerative agriculture brings back balance into our ecosystem, right? Actually, like growing and radically growing and improving the situations, the wildfires. That's all can be mitigated by planting more radically. Like crazy. We're just planting and flipping concrete slabs and turning that shit into gardens. That would change our climate.
Yeah, and also you look at global supply chains. One of the things that COVID showed us was if global supply chains have becoming so efficient, right? It's all about efficiency, okay? But the problem with it is if you pull one card out, the whole house falls down, right? And so we saw with specifically with the meat industry in the beginning of COVID, there was an issue where people working in those slaughterhouses started getting really sick, right? And what happened was when you stop 1 or 2 days of that assembly line, all of a sudden now you have all of these cows you don't know what to do, right? And they had a huge problem. It was a huge issue. And a lot of people are saying that the biggest issues to come are in the global supply chain, into these global supply networks, right? So looking into the future, how can you have more sustainable local supply chains? And that comes with farmers being able to grow their food locally.
Right.
Absolutely. And people being able to consume locally.
Okay, so check this out, Adam. 50,000 jobs. Mind you, this is like, done by like economists, right? Like questionable with economists, which is considered a science, but it's not. Like look into that. Economics is not a science, right? It's it's literally not a science. But over 50% of 3,000 jobs in agriculture are available, but nobody's doing them. Okay, like just throwing that out there, right? Mind you, you can make a lot of money being involved in agriculture, right? Weird, right? Okay, but hold on 1 second. Forget about this thing. Okay, 41% of the contingent US is used to feed livestock. That's the size of India.
Wow.
So wait, hold on. Dude, does livestock contribute to our climate change?
It's one of numero uno.
So this is connected to all of everything. Are the future of humanity.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
This is not India's problem.
It's everyone's problem. Yeah. It's everyone's problem.
What they're doing in India, it just, one of my friends, Jenny, said the other day, she said on the mark, Kali Yuga, this Kali Yuga, in Indian philosophy, we call it the age of demons, the age of darkness, the age of ignorance. One of the things that happens in the Kali Yuga, it becomes the all-seeing eye, makes so much brightness. Right, there's so much brightness. You can see everything that you can see the demons now. Like the demons are very clear. Like the people who are you want to say demons, the people who are possessed by mental illness. Like they're greedy, lustful. They got really weird issues. They're all out in the open now. Like in the last 10 years, we can see who's really fucked up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's part of the lifting of the veil. That's what apocalypse means. It means the lifting of the veil. And when you lift the veil, you start to see behind the curtain.
So what are we gonna do about it? Are we gonna cower and go into our rooms and do keep having virtual meetings? Is that gonna be the way to do something about that? I'm confused. Our shadow. What do you do? What happens when you run away from the shadow?
Well, you can't.
Can you?
No, you can't. Well, I mean, I think that's why we try to bring awareness to these sort of things, right? And I think it's a good opportunity, maybe even to bring this over to Clubhouse and to have the discussion over there, where I think we can garner a little bit more awareness, I think.
Look at this, Adam. So in India, we have been having pandemic level suicides of farmers. It's here as well. According to PBS NewsHour, rural areas have had some of the highest suicide rates of any geographic area in the United States. And suicide rates among farmers and agricultural workers actually outnumbered homicide rates between 1992 and 2010.
Yeah, that's
There's more farmers committing suicide than homicides in America.
It's crazy because if you think of all that we're doing to keep people apart during a pandemic, and you have this going on, like, why the fuck does it matter? Why are we doing all that?
Right?
And by the way, farms if you're out in the sun, you're working with the land, it actually improves your immune system. Like actually, this virus doesn't move around outside. It's really weird. It's so good at passing when you're indoors, but when you're outdoors, it doesn't pass. They've seen it. They've noticed.
Yeah.
Like look at Black Lives Matter. Look at India protests. Has there been an outbreak?
Oh, dude, I can't tell you how many people I've made out with outside, and haven't gotten this thing yet.
But inside, don't make out inside, okay?
No, just making out with random strangers on the street. It's the mustache,
Oh man, if you go on Clubhouse, that's the sad part. On Clubhouse, we can't see each other anymore. It's so sad.
I know, but I can see you in my third eye all the time. You live inside my head, buddy.
Man, and I love to see you guys. I really appreciate you, Taylor, Jamie, David, you guys, Christina. Thank you for holding space. This is difficult when you're not being heard and there's something really serious. It kind of feels, what is that? The chicken, the sky, the chicken, the sky. What was that story? The sky is falling.
Yeah. The sky is falling. Yeah.
I think too, it's like what I really appreciated. Maybe it was too last minute or whatnot to really like dive in, but on Clubhouse yesterday was one of the most fascinating conversations to be a part of that. And to go back to Clubhouse today, we'll make sure to get it recorded. David, can we record? We go over to Clubhouse. So we'll get that conversation recorded. And I think that it was fascinating as being a not from an Indian descent and listening to you guys dialogue. And then I think there's like a call out to where's William Wallace and where are we going to braveheart this shit? Like who is brave enough to join a collective? Who is already started it? How do we join? I began thinking of, if we think of 18-year-olds generally are coming out of college, are going out of high school, and they're seeking for what they do. And that's when they enroll them into the Army or the military or the Navy. And it's been confined to these structures. And now we as the human beings get to then figure out how to create the world that we want. The only way that we're going to be able to do it is number one, that we make time for it. Like we have to clear space out, which means that we have to rewrite the program of what we're supposed to do in this life. And what the perfect time to do it. I mean, they gave us this quarantine, they gave us a pandemic, they gave us unemployment. Like go out and everyone's craving a sense of belonging. Also, there was a book, this is making me even think of what's the book about tribe? And it talks about how when people come back from war, that they are generally they get super depressed because they don't have that purpose or connection anymore. So you want to heal. We want to stop two things at once. Like first off is like change your like restructure your life so that it has purpose, and then do it with a group of human beings and come together and do something that's going to actually rewrite history and create what we want.
Christina, I thought getting medicated was the way. Like we should just get high or take some medications and like chill. I thought that's
an alternative, but I think this way might be more fun. Yeah, and I think we should think about like, what story do you want to write? What legend? Who do you want to be? I mean, again, I watched Braveheart recently, and I have not stopped thinking about that movie. And when you told me about this, that's all I keep thinking of. Like, we need leaders and heroes of that caliber. And even in Clubhouse, I see a lot of them teaching us how to be millionaires, and how to biohack our way to the top. But like, really, like, can we just take all this? Maybe can we just grab the millionaires and be like, you guys are good, just spread the wealth to us, and let's go and fund the army and let's biohack the shit.
How many of those people are talking about connection, collaboration, community, and kindness? Like,
I think they're all talking about it, but like, they're not necessarily like, like we get like there's just the passion into your passion. Adam with you by his side, like just igniting that passion in them. And I think also too is like what we really need to get motivated is like last night to get a bunch of Indians in a room, Indian Americans, and to ignite us in that pursuit too.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that too. I mean, I don't know the answer, but I do feel like we need to redefine what is leadership and then accept it. Like accept that leadership, right? And like revolutionary, like we need to be intervolutionary. Look up that word, intervolution, right? Like we need to be intervolutionary because a lot of revolutionaries, they still end up becoming like despots, right? Like, so we have to be intervolutionary and see the leaders that are like that. And maybe the leader isn't a person. It might be three people. It might be a combination of people. It might be, like it doesn't have to even, we don't have to look at leaders anymore like that, right? What if we looked at leaders like a community is the leader?
Maybe
right?
it's WeDeepen.
You never know.
Wait,
I mean,
what'd you say?
Maybe
you say,
it's
Christina?
WeDeepen. I mean, we own feminine weapon, so we're Deepen and feminine weapon. It seems like a good combination. We've got all you guys leading the way as we organizationally structure it and put the feminine energy into it. And
yeah. Let me share something with you guys. I have been meditating. My mom, my mom's a farmer. Okay. And so man, maybe we should talk about this in Clubhouse because this is kind of like really kind of deep with my mom. I think like, cause comes from a farming family. They've had the farm and like what she said to me and what I've been using that, like that, that she reminded me to do a meditation and there's something that's been popping up and I would love to share with you guys, but I wonder if we should save that for Clubhouse.
Oh, you guys want to hop on
I
there?
set the Clubhouse room to start at 9:45 my time, so 6:45 your time.
Okay.
David, do we need some time to prepare an audio?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. I can hop on and kind of.
How much time do you need? What time should we start so that the audio can?
Oh yeah, 9:45. I mean, I can just get that going.
Okay, cool. So this was a good, we have this video recording. We have it on Facebook Live. If anyone is watching us on Facebook Live, we're going to jump over into Clubhouse to continue this discussion. I also think it's really important to, I was actually in a room prior to our Clubhouse yesterday. And they, within that room, there was an Indian American, and he actually said he didn't care.
Wow.
And maybe it's because he just hasn't met other people who cared too. I don't know. I'd be curious to know that. But I think that we need to. And what do we think about the title? The Braveheart genocide underway in India. Do you care?
Whoa. Yeah. I think that's fine. That's fine with me.
Is it true? Is it?
That's what I don't know. We have to ask the question.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, do you, Adam, are you cool with, do you care? Or is that too shaming? Or is that?
Well, I don't think it's do you care? I think that you care by showing up. All you have to do is listen to the conversation. That means that you care. Yeah. You join for the like, do you care is like, come here if you care. Or maybe I can change it to say, come here if you care. Come if you care.
I like coming. I mean, I like when people come. I mean, I like
Did we have Megan just join us in here?
Yes, we did.
Hey, Megan.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry.
No, sorry. I'm not waiting a sorry. Okay.
We've been waiting for you for so long, for 40 minutes. We've kept asking when's May gonna show up.
Indy, you shaved the beard.
No, this is the filter. I still have it.
That's a really good filter then.
They're getting better, guys. Getting better.
So May, we're gonna jump over to Clubhouse because we did we recorded a nice video and we've had this on Facebook Live and we had a nice discussion here and we realized that over in Clubhouse we can even reach more people and dive deeper and then come back, like plan. I think it might be, guys, good. Do we want to plan like a future date for to say, hey guys, this is a future date a week from now, or a week and a day next Thursday or some time that we're going to come back on Zoom or work towards that, or maybe we can start asking, would you guys be interested? We're gonna do a Zoom so we can see each other's face, or maybe we don't even need it anymore. Maybe, I think the audio may be the way of the future. Not sure.
Yeah, no.
I think that we have to plan to do multiple days on Clubhouse to really make a dent into this.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit to you guys, like even today, like I was about to cry at the beginning of this because it's really demoralizing, when people don't show up. And like I appreciate all you and Meg, and like like I can't tell you, I've been doing this for a couple months, and I'm getting more. I don't know. Yeah, I just being vulnerable with you guys. It's like very demoralizing. Like this, yeah.
I know, buddy. I'm sorry.
I love you, man, but I don't know what's going on, man. I really like want us to come together, Like I think it's time. Fuck, dude.
Well, we're here, and I think that you are one of the greatest leaders of right now, and so I want to make sure to feed you that energy, for you to have the power to continue and to feel appreciated and to feel this is important, and we have just begun, and we've got you, and this right here, we need to see that.
And Indy, this is Meg. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it earlier. I had a phone call come in right as the Zoom was starting, and then I got locked out of my Eventbrite account. So I'm really sorry that I'm late, but I was really excited to see a bunch of people coming in last night during Clubhouse. I thought that was really great. And if you guys wanted to reschedule or keep doing it on Clubhouse, I do think that there are some people that are interested, but it is, I'm sorry, Indy, that there aren't as many people. I'm so sorry.
No, you're amazing. You guys are amazing. The house is burning. All right, let's do Clubhouse, guys, right?
Let's do it. We got you.
Do you need a couple minutes there, brother?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, please, thank you.
Adam, let's start it.
Okay.
You feel good to start it? We can start it together and even share.
I mean, why don't we? Yeah, let's wait. Let's give him a couple minutes. I'll jump in there.
I think what I want to give it a couple. Let's go in there and just prep the room and start getting more people.
Okay. Great. Yeah, let's do
Okay,
that.
cool.
That's fine. Right.
Okay, so I'm starting. I'm going to share the link actually. Copy link. I'm going to send the link to myself right here. And I'm going to drop it in the chat, and you guys should also be able to. I think you're all. So you guys pick up the link from this chat right here. And I'm going to tell the WhatsApp group too. We're moving over to Clubhouse. To reach. I started the room. I'll see you guys over there. I love you.